was like, this is gonna happen on a night that I'm extremely tired. But out of nowhere, I just got this boost of energy, you know? And
the hip-hop world is reeling tonight as a shocking scene has unfolded that no one, not fans, not insiders, not even longtime industry vets ever thought they'd witness. After years of being held up as the blueprint couple of hip-hop, the ultimate power pair who survived prison bids, scandals, and relentless rumors, Papoose has just proposed to another woman. And Remy Ma is completely shattered. Yes, you heard that right. The man who once wrote verses about his loyalty, the husband who stood by Remy during her darkest hours, is now on one knee for someone else. And insiders say this betrayal didn't just break her heart, it broke her in public. Witnesses describe Remy's emotional breakdown. It's one of the most gut-wrenching moments they've ever seen. And here's where it gets even wilder. The identity of this so-called new girlfriend has the industry gasping for air. Rumors are swirling that she isn't just anyone, she's someone Remy knows, someone she's crossed paths with before, which makes this proposal feel less like love and more like a deliberate dagger to the heart. But is this really the end of hip-hop's royal couple? Or is there something deeper, darker, and even more calculated happening behind the scenes? One thing is certain, this isn't just gossip. This is the implosion of a legacy. For nearly 2 decades, Remy Ma and Papoose were more than just a couple. They were a living legend in hip-hop culture. Their love story was treated like a fairy tale in an industry riddled with scandals and betrayals. Fans saw them as untouchable. A rare example of loyalty in a world where relationships often burned out under the harsh lights of fame. But if you've been paying attention, if you've been reading between the lines, you know this explosion didn't come out of nowhere. The cracks were there. The whispers were growing louder. And now the entire house of cards has collapsed. Let's rewind. The story of Remy and Papoose began in the early 2000s. Back then, Remy was on fire. The Bronx-bred rapper, fresh off her breakout with Terror Squad and that unforgettable verse on Lean Back. She was the fierce female MC with a razor-sharp pen and a take-no-prisoners attitude. Papoose, meanwhile, was Brooklyn's lyrical machine, a rapper who built a reputation on mixtapes, bars, and his relentless grind. When their worlds collided, it wasn't just a romance, it was hip-hop destiny. And then came the true test. In 2008, just as Remy's career was peaking, she was sentenced to prison on assault charges. For most couples, that would have been the end, but not for Papoose. He stood by her side, visiting her, writing to her, even planning a wedding behind bars. The image of Papoose waiting for Remy became legendary. He was hailed as hip-hop's most loyal man, and their love story was cemented in the culture as proof that true loyalty still existed. Fans built them up as an empire, Bonnie and Clyde of the mic. Ride or Die in its purest form. When Remy was released in 2014, the reunion was celebrated like a victory parade. Together, they appeared on Love and Hip Hop New York, where they became fan favorites. Viewers adored their playful chemistry, their raw honesty, and the way they seemed to shield each other from the chaos that devoured so many other couples on the show. When they welcomed their daughter, the Golden Child, in 2018, the narrative was clear. Remy and Pap weren't just surviving, they were thriving. But behind the smiles, insiders whispered a different story. While the cameras showed unity, rumors hinted at strain. Papoose's constant presence was sometimes painted as suffocating.
Finally, done call it quits. That man got sick of her. Like, ma'am, I sat here all this time and waited on you as a man. Because, you know, that's what women do. That's what women would wait on you. But a man, after you got sentenced, matter of fact, before you even got sentenced, men move on. And they be having about 5, 6, 7, 10 women lined up quick. But this man waited on you while you was locked up. They wouldn't let you out. And I'm talking about he got him a little thunder. Sis is young, pretty. She got her own thing going on, so it ain't like it's one of these little fans or nothing, baby. You up against something. Yeah. And you hurt. Now, you probably was the one in the relationship that was the abusive one. You probably was mental abuse. That man probably was real chill mode. You probably did him real dirty behind closed doors. And he stuck in the paint and stayed with you while you did him dirty. But now it's over with, baby. Karma is something else. Yeah, karma. Matter of fact, it ain't even karma. It's just that man know his worth and he leaving you where you stand at. Back there. Yeah, ain't no more us. Baby, take that.
Suffocating. With some insiders claiming that Remy quietly resented the way her husband overshadowed her independence. Others suggested that Papoose, despite his loyal image, was frustrated, that his career never fully reached the mainstream heights he once dreamed of. Being Remy Ma's husband was both a badge of honor and a cage. Over the last few years, eagle-eyed fans noticed subtle shifts. On social media, the once gushing, captions grew less frequent. Public appearances together seemed staged, less natural. Even during TV tapings, their body language hinted at tension. And then came the whispers about other women, rumors that Papoose was seen too close with certain industry figures. Allegations that he had late-night studio sessions that weren't about music. Remy, meanwhile, faced her own scandals. Allegations of an altercation with another female rapper, tension with friends and castmates, and her own struggles to balance motherhood, career, and marriage. Some said she was tired. Some said she felt betrayed. Others said she was quietly plotting her next move, knowing her empire was starting to crumble. So when news broke that Papoose had gotten down on one knee for someone else in public, in front of cameras, no less, it didn't just feel like betrayal. It felt like the dramatic climax of a story that had been building for years. But here's where the shock multiplies. The so-called new girlfriend isn't some random woman. Sources close to the situation claim she's connected to Remy's inner circle. Someone who has been around before, someone Remy trusted. That detail alone transformed this scandal from heartbreaking to devastating. It's one thing to lose your partner to a stranger. It's another to realize the betrayal might have been sitting right. It's beside you the whole time. Fans online are already calling this the ultimate humiliation. How could Papoose, the man who built his brand on loyalty, turn around and not only leave Remy, but propose to someone she knows? Was this love? Was this revenge? Or was it a calculated move to shatter Remy in the most public way possible? And Remy's breakdown? Witnesses describe it as haunting. She wasn't just crying. She wasn't just angry. She collapsed under the weight of betrayal, her voice cracking as she screamed that this wasn't about love. This was about war. Now, the question isn't whether Remy and Papoose are done. The question is, how far is Remy willing to go for revenge? And is this proposal the beginning of a new love story? Or the spark that ignites one of the nastiest wars hip-hop has ever seen? The night everything unraveled was supposed to be ordinary. Papoose had invited a select group of friends and insiders to what was billed as a private dinner party, a low-key celebration for his latest mixtape milestone. Nothing about it, screamed Bombshell, but witnesses swear there was an unsettling energy in the room from the start, a tension that no one could quite place. By the end of the night, that tension exploded into one of the most shocking betrayals hip-hop has ever seen. The proposal didn't happen in a quiet, private corner. Oh no. It happened center stage, right in front of flashing cameras and stunned faces. According to multiple insiders, Papoose rose from his seat, mid-dinner, tapped his glass for attention, and smiled. At first, everyone assumed he was about to make a toast. After all, Papoose was known for his speeches, heartfelt, poetic, full of lyrical flourishes. But then he reached into his pocket, dropped down on one knee, and the room froze. The gasp was collective. Phones whipped out, eyes widened. And when everyone realized who he was proposing to, the silence turned into chaos. This wasn't some new woman no one had ever seen. This wasn't some random industry hookup. No, this was someone who had been seen with Remy countless times before. Someone who had smiled in pictures, laughed in interviews, and stood in rooms where Remy thought she was safe. The new girlfriend. Allegedly, a woman Remy once called a friend. That's when the heartbreak turned into humiliation. Because Remy wasn't across the country, she wasn't in hiding, she wasn't oblivious. She was right there in that room when her husband got on one knee for another woman. Witnesses claim Remy's face went pale before she exploded. Some say she screamed, others say she broke down crying. But everyone agrees it was raw, unfiltered devastation. And here's where the first twist makes this story even darker. According to leaked whispers, the relationship between Papoose and this new girlfriend wasn't some sudden fling. It wasn't new at all. Insiders allege it's been going on for months, maybe years, behind closed doors. While Remy was fighting battles, filming reality TV, and focusing on her daughter, Papoose was allegedly building a second life, a life no one expected. But why now? Why would Papoose choose to propose so publicly, knowing full well it would crush Remy? That's the part no one can wrap their heads around. Some say it was deliberate, a public declaration to show he was moving on. Others think it was revenge, retaliation for rumors about Remy's own alleged missteps. And some believe it was about control, proving that the man once known for loyalty could rewrite the narrative in one shocking moment. The aftermath of that proposal was pure chaos. Witnesses say Remy stormed out of the room, her voice cracking as she shouted, "After everything I did for you, this." Some guests followed her out, trying to calm her down, but she wasn't having it. Meanwhile, Papoose stayed behind, still on one knee, sliding the ring onto the other woman's finger as if the breakdown of his wife meant nothing. Clips from the night began leaking almost immediately. Grainy cell phone footage hit Instagram within hours. One video shows Remy in tears, clutching her face as someone tries to hold her back. Another angle shows Papoose embracing his new fiancée, smiling as if the room wasn't collapsing around him. Fans who saw those clips couldn't believe it. The man they'd praised for loyalty was now being labeled a traitor. And the plot thickens. According to insiders, that ring wasn't brand new. It wasn't purchased last week. Some claim it had been hidden away for months, waiting for the right moment. Meaning, this wasn't a spur-of-a-moment decision. This was premeditated, planned, calculated. The betrayal deepens further when you consider the history. This wasn't just Remy's husband. This was her rock. The man who endured visits to prison, the man who held her down when the industry turned its back, the man who publicly declared he'd never leave her side. For that same man to now turn around and propose to someone she once trusted. It's no wonder Remy's breakdown was described as soul-crushing. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, insiders drop the first twist that changes everything. This new girlfriend might not be so new after all. There are whispers, unconfirmed but gaining steam, that Papoose and this woman were linked even before Remy went to prison. That during those early 2000s days, when Remy thought Papoose was hers alone, he may have already been splitting his loyalty. If that's true, then this wasn't just betrayal in the present. It was betrayal baked into the very foundation of their relationship. Betrayal that stretches back years, hidden behind bars, reality TV scripts, and carefully curated Instagram posts. Fans are now asking, was the fairy tale ever real? Or was Remy fighting for a love that was already compromised before it even began? This revelation reframes everything. The loyalty, the prison visits, the golden child. All of it now tainted by the possibility that Papoose wasn't the hero we thought he was, but a man carrying secrets that have finally come to light. And Remy, the woman known for her strength, her sharp tongue, her unshakable presence, was left shattered. Witnesses say she kept repeating, "You didn't just betray me, you embarrassed me." Now the question becomes, how does Remy Ma, the woman who built her brand on resilience, respond to this level of humiliation? Does she go silent, lick her wounds, and walk away quietly? Or does she strike back in the way only Remy can? with bars, with venom, with a public takedown that shakes. Hip-hop to its core. The first twist reveals the proposal wasn't just shocking, was years in the making. And if that's true, the storm that's coming next might be even uglier than the betrayal itself. If the proposal itself was a bomb, the aftermath was nuclear. Within minutes, grainy clips from that dinner started hitting Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The narrative of hip-hop's most loyal man shattered in real time. And suddenly, the internet wasn't just gossiping it was rioting.social. Media chaos on Twitter, X. Hashtags like hashtag PAPOOSE exposed. Hashtag Remy deserves better. And hashtag hip-hop betrayal started trending by the hour. Fans who had idolized Papoose were furious. He held her down in prison just to stab her in the chest now. Disgusting. Remy stayed loyal through everything, and this is how he repays her. This ain't love. This is humiliation. Others, though, defended him. Y'all don't know what happens behind closed doors. Maybe Remy wasn't perfect. Man gave her years of loyalty. Maybe he finally had enough. The comments weren't just divided, they were vicious. Stan accounts battled, memes flooded timelines, and think pieces popped up overnight declaring that the fairy tale was always a lie. On TikTok, creators dissected every frame of the leaked video. Some slowed it down to analyze Remy's facial expressions. Others zoomed in on the ring, trying to identify if it was the same one Pap once flaunted on jewelry blogs years ago. One viral theory claimed the ring was originally meant for Remy, making the betrayal sting even worse. Celebrity reactions: the scandal didn't stay in fan circles for long. Celebrities jumped in too. Fat Joe, Remy's longtime collaborator, went live and said, "Listen, I ain't saying much, but Remy is my sister. And when my sister hurts, I hurt. That's all I'm saying." Fans immediately read this as silent confirmation that Joe was siding with Remy. 50 Cent, never one to miss drama, posted an IG story with Pap's face and the caption, "Mr. Loyalty, huh?" Guess the mixtapes weren't the only thing recycled. Cardi B liked a fan tweet that read, "Remy deserved a king, not a clown." Even Nicki Minaj Barbs got involved, dragging Remy for years-old beef but also mocking Pap for betraying her. Imagine losing to Nicki and your man in the same lifetime. But the most shocking reaction came from Ra Ali, once Remy's close ally turned rival. She posted a cryptic message, "Sometimes karma don't miss." The internet went wild, accusing Ra of celebrating Remy's pain. Insider leaks as the internet erupted. Insiders began dropping alleged receipts. One claimed that Pap and this new girlfriend had been spotted together months ago in Miami, far too cozy for just friends. Another leaked DM suggested they'd been messaging for over a year. Then came the devastating reveal, according to one blog. Pap's alleged side relationship had overlapped with Remy's prison time. If true, it meant the very foundation of his loyalty image was fraudulent. The very years fans celebrated him for holding her down might have been tainted with betrayal. Screenshots circulated of text exchanges allegedly between Pap and the new girlfriend, where he allegedly wrote, "She'll never know. You're my peace." That line alone became a meme. Fans furious at the irony of Pap calling someone else's peace while publicly building his reputation as Remy's rock. The shocking reveal, but just when fans thought the drama had reached peak chaos, the first shocking reveal landed. According to a well-placed source, the new girlfriend isn't just anyone from Remy's circle. She's allegedly someone tied to the Love and Hip Hop franchise. Someone who had appeared on set before, in the background, connected through castmates. That revelation flipped everything upside down. This wasn't just betrayal, it was betrayal inside the same reality TV ecosystem that made Remy and Pap fan favorites. Insiders claim producers had long suspected tension, but never dared to touch it for storyline purposes. It was unfolding, live in front of the world. To make matters worse, one leaked message suggested that the proposal itself may have been orchestrated with cameras in mind. Allegedly, Pap wanted it filmed for an exclusive deal with a streaming platform. If true, that means he didn't just betray Remy, he commodified the betrayal, turning it into entertainment. That the reveal was devastating. The girlfriend is tied to the love and hip world. The proposal may have been a stage spectacle for profit. Remy's breakdown wasn't just witnessed. It was captured for content. Fans called it the ultimate betrayal, turning his wife's humiliation into a storyline. The aftermath: Remy hasn't spoken publicly yet, but insiders say she's inconsolable. Friends close to her allegedly claim she feels set up, that she walked into that dinner not knowing she was about to be blindsided in front of peers, cameras, and strangers. One insider told a gossip outlet she thought it was a business dinner. She had no idea he was about to humiliate her like that. This wasn't just cheating. This was assassination of her dignity. And now, speculation is boiling. Is this proposal legal binding of a new chapter, or just the opening shot in what could be one of hip-hop's ugliest divorces? The escalation has made one thing clear. This isn't just a breakup. This is a public war. And if the shocking reveal about the girlfriend's identity and the staged proposal is true, then the next moves from both Remy and Pap will decide who survives this storm. Because right now, looks like the crown jewel of hip-hop's most loyal couple just shattered beyond repair. The fallout from Papoose's shocking proposal didn't just stay inside that private dinner. It spilled onto every corner of the internet, into barbershop debates, celebrity live streams, and even our ADIO airwaves. What had once been celebrated as hip-hop's most unshakable love story was now being torn apart in the court of public opinion. And trust me, the court was brutal. Fans in civil war on Twitter X. The debate became war. Supporters of Remy filled the timeline with emotional posts. Remy held him down through prison time, and this is what she gets. Papoose ain't loyal. He's just another clown who loved the spotlight more than his wife. Imagine standing outside Rikers for years only to get replaced by a friend. Nah, she deserves better. Meanwhile, some fans bizarrely defended Papoose. Let's not act like Remy is innocent. Rumors been swirling about her too. Pap wasted years being the loyal husband. Maybe he finally wanted his own happiness. We don't know what's really going on. Y'all only see clips, not the marriage. The comments weren't just divided, they were savage. Memes depicted Papoose as Mr. Loyalty turned Judas, while others edited Remy's breakdown into TikTok soundbites that went viral under captions like, "When you realize the fairy tale is fake, tale is fake." TikTok meltdown. TikTok creators dissected every frame of the leaked proposal footage. Some creators slowed down Remy's reaction to show the exact moment her expression turned from confusion to devastation. Others zoomed in on the new girlfriend, analyzing her smirk, her dress, even her nails, as if every detail was a clue in a larger conspiracy. One viral TikTok, with over 15 million views in 2 days, played Papoose's past love and hip-hop confessionals, side by side with his proposal. Clip. The captions read, "The man who said loyalty is everything just destroyed everything." Another trending theory suggested that the entire proposal was actually staged for a love and hip-hop spin-off storyline. The theory gained traction when eagle-eyed fans spotted what appeared to be a camera crew tucked in the corner of one leaked video. Was this betrayal real, or was it reality TV turned up to 100? Celebrity shockwaves. The industry couldn't stay silent. Fat Joe doubled down on his loyalty to Remy, posting on IG, "Family first. That's my sister, always will be. Don't ask me about anything else." Fans flooded his comments, praising him for standing by Remy's side. 50 Cent had fans in stitches after trolling Pap with a photoshopped image of him holding a world's worst husband trophy. Caption: "Loyalty don't sell records." Cardi B surprised everyone when she jumped on Twitter Spaces, her voice heated. "Remy didn't deserve that, yo. It's embarrassing. To blindside a woman like that in public? Nah, I don't respect it." even Nicki Minaj. Indirectly through shade tweeting, some PPL build their careers off pretending to be perfect couples. But God don't like ugly. Her barbs instantly spun it into a direct shot at Remy, reigniting their old beef. And then came the jaw-dropper. Ra Ali, Remy's ex-friend turned rival, went live with a grin plastered on her face. She didn't need to say much, her smirk said it all. She whispered, "Tables turn. They always do." The internet exploded. Industry whispers behind the curtain. Insiders whispered that Papoose's public stunt wasn't just about love. It was about leverage. Some claimed that Pap was in talks for a reality TV deal that would spotlight his new life. If true, this proposal wasn't just betrayal. It was a business move. One alleged insider told a blog, Pap felt like he sacrificed his whole career for Remy. He held her down. But where did that leave him? Always in her shadow. This was his way of stepping out, even if it meant breaking her. Others claimed industry execs were horrified. Pap had built his brand as the loyal husband. With that image gone, what's left? A man who humiliated one of hip-hop's strongest women. Some said endorsements and brand deals already started pulling back. Media frenzy mainstream outlets pounced on the story. TMZ. Headline: Remy Ma humiliated, Papoose proposes to new girlfriend in public stunt. Rolling Stone op-ed: The death of hip-hop's fairy tale couple. Breakfast Club discussion: Charlemagne Tha God bluntly said Pap was hip-hop's poster boy for loyalty. Now he's just another headline. Late-night shows even took shots. One comedian joked, Papoose was the blueprint for loyalty. Guess he just crumpled the blueprint and wrote a whole new script. The fans turn on Papoose perhaps. The most damning reaction came from the very fans who once idolized him. His Instagram comments turned into a battlefield of betrayal. Mr. Loyalty turned Mr. Liar. You embarrassed her in front of the world. Ain't no coming back from that. Pap equals publicly ain't private. Shameful. And while Pap tried to stay silent, his silence only made it worse. Every hour he didn't explain himself. The internet wrote its own version of the story. Cliffhanger: the threat of Remy's response. But the biggest wave of speculation isn't about Pap. It's about Remy. Everyone is waiting to see how she responds. Will she stay silent? Will she unleash in interviews? Or will she do what Remy does best? Grab the mic and bury Pap in bars that will live forever. One thing's for certain. Remy Ma isn't a woman who takes humiliation lying down. And the industry knows it. People are whispering about studio sessions, about cryptic tweets she almost posted, about diss tracks already in motion. The public reaction has made one thing clear. This isn't just a messy breakup. This is about legacy. And if Remy fires back, this could become the ugliest war hip-hop has ever seen. Just when fans thought the scandal couldn't get any messier, the final twist dropped like a thunderbolt, one that flipped the entire narrative upside down and left the industry in total chaos. According to multiple insiders, Papoose's proposal wasn't just a spur-of-a-moment act of betrayal. It was allegedly the result of months of secret plotting between him and the so-called new girlfriend. Sources claim this woman wasn't blindsided by Pap's public proposal. She was expecting it. In fact, she might have been part of the planning all along. But here's the gut punch. Whispers suggest that this new girlfriend isn't just a random connection to Remy's circle. Allegedly, she once worked directly with Remy on music projects, making her betrayal twice as sharp. Fans are now calling her the Judas of hip-hop. The ultimate backstabber, who not only stole Remy's man, but allegedly did it while smiling in her face for years. And then came the leaked receipts, screenshots, text threads, and blurred photos. Surfaced on blogs claiming to show Pap and the woman sneaking off together as far back as 2 summers ago. One alleged message from Pap read, "When the time's right, it'll be us. Just trust me." That line hit fans like a knife twist. It implied that this wasn't a random collapse of a marriage, it was premeditated. orchestrated betrayal. The cliffhanger only deepened when a video surfaced from the night of the proposal. Footage that hadn't been included in the original. Leaks. In it, Papoose can be heard whispering to his new fiancée, "It's our time now. No more hiding." Fans immediately pounced. No more hiding. That sounded less like the start of something new and more like the reveal of something old. Something that had been happening in the shadows long before Remy even knew. But the darkest twist of all, insiders claim Remy herself may have already known something was off. Rumors are swirling that she had quietly confronted Pap months earlier about late-night calls, secret studio sessions, and unexplained trips. He allegedly brushed it off, reassuring her that he was loyal, that he was still the same Pap who waited outside those prison walls. Now, in hindsight, fans say those reassurances look like manipulation, gaslighting at its most public scale. The cliffhanger is brutal. Remy has gone completely silent. No tweets, no statements, no interviews, just silence. And in that silence, fans are terrified because Remy Ma isn't the type to stay quiet unless she's plotting something big. Industry whispers say she's already been in the studio, penning bars so sharp they could slice reputations in half. If true, Papoose's betrayal might not just cost him a marriage, it could cost him his career, his image, and his legacy. And then came one last chilling rumor. Pap and his new fiancée might already be negotiating a reality show deal. If that's true, it means the betrayal wasn't just about love. It was about business, about clout, about turning Remy's breakdown into entertainment for profit. The internet is demanding answers. Will Remy fire back with music that dismantles Pap and exposes everything? Will Pap actually go through with marrying his new girlfriend? Or will more receipts drop that reveal an even deeper web of lies? Right now, the only certainty is that hip-hop's most celebrated love story has turned into its ugliest soap opera, and with Remy Ma's silence hanging heavy over the culture. Fans know one thing for sure. The war hasn't even started yet. The final question remains when Remy breaks her silence. Will she simply tell her side of the story? Or will she burn the entire house down? 'Cause if the rumors are true, the next chapter could be the deadliest diss track, the nastiest divorce, and the most explosive showdown the culture has ever seen. This story isn't over. It's only getting started. And there you have it, the shocking implosion of what we once called hip-hop's most loyal couple. From prison visits and reality TV glory to public proposals and humiliating betrayal, the story of Remy Ma and Papoose has spiraled into one of the ugliest soap operas the culture has ever seen. The twist about the so-called new girlfriend being tied to Remy's inner circle? The whispers that this proposal was planned. And the rumors of a reality TV deal? It's almost too much to take in. But now, it's your turn to weigh in. Because this story isn't just about Remy and Pap. It's about all of us who believed in the fairy tale. So I've got to ask you, do you think Papoose was plotting this betrayal all along, using Remy as a stepping stone until he was ready to make his move? Or do you believe this was less about love and more about business, an orchestrated stunt to launch a new chapter in front of cameras, even at the cost of Remy's dignity? And the biggest question of all, how will Remy Ma respond? Will she stay silent? Or will she unleash the kind of diss track that burns Pap's reputation? Two Ashes flood the comments with your thoughts, your theories, your anger, your heartbreak. I want to see what you think is really going on here. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and lock in with us. Because trust me, this story is far from over. If the rumors are true, Remy's response is coming, and when it does, it won't just shake her marriage. It could shake the entire industry. This isn't the end. This is just the beginning of hip-hop's messiest war yet.